Live.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Hi! Hi, everybody. I am Amanda, also known as Sim Guru Drake, and I've got, who?
Graham.
Who are you?
Sim Guru Graham Nardone. I'm the producer on this stuff pack, if you haven't tuned into one of our streams before.
Oh, yes, and he's sporting a very colorful shirt.
I am. I found this in my closet this morning, and I thought surely I would find a good joke on the way from my home to work this morning that I could say on the laundry stream.
Haven't yet?
I don't think I quite got there,
No.
but basically maybe it's like a PSA, like don't mix your colors and your whites
Yeah, just
when you're
don't
doing
do that.
laundry. I think
Also-
this would ruin my entire wardrobe.
Well, you also have to be careful, with certain colors as well, like bleeding into other colors.
You do.
I've had that.
Thankfully, Sims Live's a little bit simpler. They don't have to worry about mixing colors and whites, so they'll be okay.
Yeah, good. But hey, I am definitely open to hearing any puns that you guys have about his shirt, any jokes you might want to come up with to fill in that hole that we're missing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Graham, talk to us a little bit about this very unique pack.
Absolutely. So today we are showing off the Sims 4 Laundry Day stuff. It's the newest stuff pack. It's coming out next week on Tuesday. And this one's pretty exciting for us. I think most of you tuned in today are probably aware of some of the history of this pack. But for those who are just kind of discovering what it's all about, we actually announced this way back in April of last year. And it's a special community project. We haven't done anything like this on The Sims before. But essentially, when we first announced it, we had no idea what this pack was even going to be.
No. Oh, man.
So we went out to all of you and we said, hey, let's make a stuff pack together.
Yeah.
Let's get all of your input from the community. Let's, create what we want this stuff pack to be. And ultimately, it was an opportunity for you to kind of get a little insight into game development, into what we do here in the studio, and to really, share your voice about what you want to see in The Sims. So I think we've gone through this entire development process over the past year or so.
Yeah.
And we've shared a lot of information. You can see a lot of it, on the blogs on our website. Even if you go to the forums, there's a section called Sim Guru Graham's Corner. And in there, you'll see a welcome post that has links to a lot of information about what we've done.
Yeah,
in all
and
this
every
time.
blog post, every additional forum post that he's made, giving you more information about stuff. You do have to update it with the hair one, though.
Yeah,
you missed
we'll
that
add the hair
one.
one to the welcome post.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's kind of a treasure trove of information. And while it talks about this stuff pack specifically,
Yeah.
it gives a lot of insight into what actually goes into making a Sims game. So, if you're interested in that side, check it out for sure. But if you're just curious to see what's in the pack, you have come to the right place today.
Yeah.
So we're going to walk through everything that the pack has to offer. We'll give a little, retrospective, maybe some anecdotes about how we got to where we're at. And I think, for the Q&A portion of the stream today, we can answer any questions you have about the pack for sure. But if you have just general questions about game development or some of the this project and what went into it, certainly ask those as well.
Definitely. I mean, this is like one of those unique opportunities where there's already some good jokes, by the way. It's just a very unique opportunity for us to get to talk to you a bit more in depth than we're normally able. And this was such a fun project.
It really was. So with that said, maybe we'll just go ahead and jump over to kind of showing off some of the game and what we did to make it.
Yeah. Oh my God, PowerPoints.
Oh, game.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Sorry, Steve.
Come on, Steve.
So we've got a little PowerPoint to go along with the demo today, just to give you some of that perspective of what went into this and some of the really early votes in this project. We had no idea what we were making yet. And so we went out to you and we said, hey, let's pick an overall theme.
Yeah.
And so we had 5 different ones that you could kind of vote on. And the winner was eco-living.
Eco-living.
And the theme was really just kind of a starting point to guide just initial discussions about ideas that we may want to explore.
Yeah.
So nothing had really been set in stone at that point. But what you're seeing on screen right now was actually the second vote that took place.
Yeah, art style.
Yeah, we said, let's figure out our art style. We had a modern choice. This is the one that actually won. And you're going to see, like, this is the earliest version of the pack, and some of this definitely translated into what actually got made.
Yeah, I even see some of it too.
Yep. So I think we're going to start off in Create a Sim today. So pay special attention to what the man and woman there are wearing, because we're going to see how those actually ended up in game.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
So the next vote that took place was kind of choosing clothing and objects.
Yeah.
And this lineup that you see right here is actually I think it's 18 or so.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a little more with that first one.
Yeah, it's a little more because the first one. Can you tell why that one's in there like that?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. So basically, when you guys went out and voted on it, we didn't have the assets from that style vote included in the second one.
It was just, there was a lot of stuff that we were having you guys vote on.
Yeah, that was a really crazy process to go through.
It really was.
So we added that one back in afterwards because everybody responded so well to what they saw in the style vote.
I mean, it looks awesome.
Yeah. So let's swap over to the game and actually see how this turned out.
Okay.
So there's our lady modeling some of the new clothing. So we've got that full body top. We've got our leggings and boots. And before we dig into what everybody has, we'll just show how the men's version turned out. So he's got kind of his stained shirt. And this ended up working out nicely because whether eco living turned into a heap of compost or turned into laundry, we figured, okay,
that
a stained shirt,
right?
It's going to work.
Yeah, it totally does.
So that turned out nicely for us. And he's got that kind of crazy pattern on his pants. You saw a little bit of that in the concept art as well.
Yes, and I was so excited about those. I love patterns and obviously color.
So let's hop back over to Molly here and let's just see some of the individual assets that we created. So this is a full body outfit for her, of course, and lots of different colorful patterns that are available.
Oh, that is a good green.
Mm-hmm. And even if you don't want the flowers, you want something a little more simple, we've got some of those options as well.
Oh, nice.
So nice, versatile asset.
Yeah.
And I think it really, speaks back to the kind of country boho casual clothing look that we were going for.
Yeah.
And completing her outfit, we've got these leggings, which I think are quite nice.
They're so nice. They got some really good looking texture on them too.
Yeah, they turned out really differently than anything we had in the game so far. Same thing was with these boots, like speaking about texture.
Right?
I love the kind of built-in wrinkles into them. It just gives them this nice weathered look.
Ooh, yeah, and I hadn't actually seen a lot of the color variants either yet, so it's really good choices.
And one other pair of shoes for the ladies. Let's actually take the leggings off so we can see those a little bit clearer.
Yeah,
we've got these nice wedges, yeah.
Yeah.
And so those all come in a bunch of colors as well.
Ooh, that's nice.
So some nice variety there. And then if we just go over to tops, we've got plenty of these as well. One new pair of jeans, so we'll go ahead and put those on for showing off our tops.
Yeah.
I really like the belt on this one. It's a little bit unique compared to any of the other jeans that are in the game.
I actually like the fact that it's not fitting through the loop. You know, it's not properly set, so you can see the little details on it in the gold.
So this one, what would you call this style? It's not over the shoulder, it's like under the shoulder.
It's off-shoulder crop top.
There we go.
Yeah, off-shoulder crop top. I mean, someone else can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not the greatest in fashion, but...
And of course, we have some plains for this as well, or you have the flower pattern, which is quite nice.
I really like the flower pattern.
Now, I like this one a lot with kind of the tied knot by the side. I don't think we have anything quite like that in-game either, which is just really nice.
Yeah, and there's like the way that the shirt is set, like with the slight like wrinkles that you can see it's pulling towards the side. That's a nice touch. Ooh, so funny enough, I own a shirt similar to this. I bought it for an outfit on a trip vacation to the place I can't say, but
all we need to do is get
in that color actually.
Yeah, there we go.
To Disney. I went to Disneyland and I bought a shirt like that for the trip.
This one's a lot of fun because this one has, I like the pattern and the gradients that show up on it.
Oh, that's a nice one.
This was kind of interesting. Like when we went through and worked on this one, We got some feedback internally that the way the straps were sitting on the shoulders made it look slightly masculine.
Yeah.
Which is probably, you know, odd for a top like this, which is, you know, clearly feminine.
Yeah.
So we did some adjustment on the straps. They used to be kind of over the shoulder and then like they were in a little further. And I think we ended up just going straight up and down to get it feeling right.
Which, I mean, I like the flow of what it does for the neckline, honestly, on this. Ooh.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Got a good halter crop top.
There's some more of those fun kind of patterns that are brought back into it.
Oh, those are nice. And a good, you know, variety of color as well. I'm going to be interested to see how they pair all these items together.
Yeah. And then, of course, we've got some new hairstyles for our ladies as well. Actually, let me bring up the PowerPoint again for just another second here. So this is one of the hairstyles. It's the one you're seeing right now. And I shared this on our forums recently. And this kind of shows a bit of the process that we go through when we're creating hairstyles. We have that opaque version up top that really shows the texture and the flow of the hair.
Yeah.
And then we've got the transparent one down below. And you can actually see the shape of the sim skull underneath.
Yeah, it's like how it's sitting.
And that really helps our modelers figure out like how to actually shape this hair when they're styling it and when they're building it.
Yeah.
And then over on the right, you're seeing all the colors that are available, and above each one is the color of the clip. And I know a lot of people ask, like, hey, I'd love to customize the color of the clip separately from the hair. That's not something we have right now, not something stuff packs can really add.
Yeah.
But we've heard feedback about that. It's definitely something to consider for the future.
Yeah. And something to note for this particular part of it is you guys didn't actually get to vote on the hairstyles. But Graham did write a really good post in the forums giving you more detail about why, so you should definitely check that out.
Yep. And so some nice different colors, of course, and let me just get the clip back into the view so you can see what that kind of does on different styles.
Oh, yeah.
Someday we're going to get the right shade of purple for you,
you know.
Mandy.
They know my feelings.
That's all the hits you want.
It's okay. You know what? Stuff packs, you know, you guys have. You did. One of them got my hair color. I was very happy about it.
Maybe if she was allowed to vote on hair.
I know. You know what? Yeah. I did not actually place a vote in any of this. So I would have made that loud and clear.
I did vote, but I didn't go out and tell people what I voted for because I
Yeah.
wanted to stay impartial.
Yes. And some people in studio did vote because not everyone has an opportunity to be a part of those conversations too that goes into it because each team has specific things they work on. So it was even a fun project for internal purposes as well. Like everybody was excited about it.
I do think that's something our team like generally does pretty well with though, just because it is a life simulation. Especially like in the early phases of a project, a lot of people do have an opportunity to say, hey, you know, what do I do when I do laundry? Like, this is my experience. This is my experience.
Yeah.
And then we, kind of bring all that feedback back into the designs.
Like you accidentally forget to take that white shirt out of your pile color clothes. Or...
So I think this hairstyle is actually my favorite one, the casual updo.
It's got a really nice texture on it. And the way that the headband is sitting, you can kind of see the bump because there's no way I'd be able to get my hair perfectly like flat, but no, that was a good one.
Yep.
And this guy's hairstyle too, just in general.
Yeah, we can start off with his hairstyles. We look
Yeah.
at some of the guy's stuff. So he's got kind of a swept back look.
Oh,
little
the
messy
texture in the back. Oh, so good.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
He's ready to do some laundry.
He's really ready to do some laundry.
And if we look at some of the clothing for the guys as well. So we have that one stained option on there to kind of link back to the concept art that I showed. But we also have some really nice patterns for the guys' stuff as well. And some cool stripes.
Ooh, yeah. And vertical, too.
Some plains. So some nice options.
I love this.
So something that really surprised me when we went through this pack, we were looking at what players voted for because we wanted to ensure that, what we were actually adding to the game was different than things that came before and that we did give you some good variety. And something I was shocked to discover was we didn't have any kind of shirts with this unbuttoned look that had either the swooping neck or the V-neck that's on this other one. So these are the only ones in game that are actually like this. So
Oh
it's
my
a really
God.
nice addition to the catalog.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that either. See? I like this. I will say this comment. The clothes alone might persuade me to get this pack. You should get it because it's awesome.
Yeah, I like the clothes a lot in this pack. They turned out really nicely. That's a great variant right there.
They do want your shirt in cast, by the way.
Oh, boy.
Well, I'll fight for that on your guys' behalf. That is a nice gradient effect there on that shirt.
So we've got our kind of chinos over here, and they have that wild pattern. But I
Wait,
think
what are they called?
Are they? They're not chinos.
Is it chinos?
No, these are more like casual sweatpants where it's a little scrunched up, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
didn't even know what
fashion.
chinos were. I was like, what? Somebody in chat, tell us what that is.
And we got a lot of colors for those patterns.
Oh, yeah. That is really good. Mm-hmm. Ooh, and of course, solids.
And then a nice pair of ripped jeans as well. And those will come in a variety of colors.
Yeah.
Does it actually have a hole to go through?
Yeah,
the
look, it's
texture?
showing
I mean,
his
like-
skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Ooh, that is a nice denim.
And we had a little bit for our children as well. So one new top for them. A lot of people kind of ask like how we choose the balance of assets and
Yeah.
clothing that goes into a pack. Because most of this pack is focused on laundry, it's more of an adult thing. So most of the clothing is going to focus around that age group. So
But this is a
little
nice
bit
top
for the kids.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's layered. Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's got some of those same patterns.
Yeah. He's got his little pocket.
And let's swap him over here and see what our ladies have as well. So we've got one full body for them.
Oh,
And it kind of
so
plays on that
cute.
adult one. It's like a cute little version of it.
Yeah. I love it. Oh, yep. That's a favorite.
Yep.
Obviously.
So with that, let's jump over to the build side.
Yes.
And so I'm gonna bring our slide back up and whoop. Skipped over that one while we were going through, but that's just an example of kind of the style guides that we put together. So this is the basic asset, and you see the initial drawing for it up in the top left. And then you see all the different variants that we developed for that piece of
Yeah.
clothing.
Somebody had asked, do the external partners get body templates? How do they create the 3D models so well?
So there's a great post on the forums. I didn't actually include that in the PowerPoint today, but it's if you go to that SimGuru Graham's Corner section of the forums, there's a post that's all about object asset creation. And we show the entire process kind of from concept art
Yeah.
to these orthogonal drawings that give a sense of its 3D shape and size. But they're just very technical drawings
Yeah.
at that stage. And then it just shows the entire process as you develop them further. We'll see some in progress assets today to get a sense of what that looks like.
Yeah.
But I just don't have the entire flow to show you today. But definitely check out that post. It's very informative.
Yeah, and again, just if you go to SimGuru Graham's Corner, we can get Steve to link to it in chat.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You can, go
Wait a
Steve.
second. Whoa, I have to actually do work
Yes.
over here. Hold on.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
objects.
Here's what we've got on screen right now. It's all of the objects that you all voted for on the pack. I'll call particular attention to a couple of things here. You'll see the rugs in the bottom. We're going to come back to those in a minute and show some things that we added there. Even our door on the right-hand side, you'll see it has that curtain on it, and we did a little variety of things there as
Ooh,
well.
Okay.
And so this is kind of the aesthetic that we're going for.
Lots of wicker furniture, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, definitely. So if we jump back in game, let's go ahead and hop into the build catalog. And we're out here in Willow Creek. I took one of the homes that already exists and I gave it a bit of a makeover.
Ooh.
And so let's just see everything that's in here. And so here's some of the living chairs and the sofa that we voted
Yeah.
for, and these come in a lot of great colors. And of course it matches between them, so I can get that same kind of
Yeah.
brown and yellow if I want, and just a lot of great color selections in here.
That's a nice blue with the yellow.
Jumping over to our dining chair. So these come in great color options as well. So all the wicker you could possibly want.
All the wicker.
And I love this because it is a 6-seater indoor dining table. It's the first one in the game that's like that. If you remember back to backyard
Yeah, backyard stuff. You had a 6-seater.
It had a 6-seater, but it came with that umbrella.
Yeah, it was a
on
patio table.
Right. So now you can finally dine indoors in a nice big round table.
Group
it's really
dinners.
cool. These the candle lights here, those are also new, looking really nice.
I was really happy that people voted for that because I wanted it so much.
Going back out to our living room, we've got a lovely new ottoman, very plush.
Yeah. I was happy about this one too. I love the design of it and the actual art style, photo. So.
And this one wasn't actually voted on by players.
No.
Our artist internally had a little bit of extra time, so we created a few extra assets just to give you guys as much as we possibly could in this pack.
So much stuff.
Now, over in our laundry room here, we see some fun ones. This is actually a separate piece from the hallway table that's beneath it, so you can take those and put it on the ground as well. But just some nice storage options, and this really helps build out the aesthetic of a laundry room.
Yeah. Oh my god, I want that. I wish I had the space for it.
Got a few laundry baskets. Probably, maybe my favorite object text that I've ever written.
Yes.
I'm not going to read it. You can go discover that for yourself.
Definitely, when you get your hands on this pack, spend a lot of time reading the text. He had so much fun writing
I
this
really
stuff.
enjoy writing text.
I feel like I heard you talk more and laugh more writing this stuff than any pack thus far.
We've got a lovely new square coffee table. This was actually a type of coffee table that Cats and Dogs introduced. Normally we had the 2x1 kind of rectangular ones, but they built a new style of coffee table, and that allowed us to take advantage of it as well. So nice big one for larger living rooms.
Yeah, so much space.
In our hallway over here, we've got kind of our coat rack. So I think there's a lot of great options in this pack for building out a mud room or kind of the entrance to a home. And so this is a nice one. We've got some objects that are slotted into it. There's plenty of slots in here to hold different stuff. So that's a great option. Tons of actually really gorgeous wall shelves in this pack as well. So I love the baskets here. And so you can put stuff in the different shelves, and it's kind of artistic and decorative at the same time. And then we've got these ones that, again, really build out our laundry room. Plenty of slots, so you can grab all these things separately.
Yeah, someone
really
actually
cool.
did when they were seeing the screenshots. Someone honed in on the detergent bottle and wondering if that was separate.
That was. So originally, actually, this is a little interesting. We had this sink. And a lot of people said, well, hey, I really like that bucket. Can I get that bucket separate from the sink? And we said, okay, sure, you guys want the bucket. All right, so now you've got the bucket. And then we said, okay, well, how about that laundry detergent bottle that's in that bucket? Like, I want a laundry detergent bottle to decorate with my room. We said, all right, well,
now you got
here's your laundry detergent bottle. So sometimes we get to split things apart. If we have a little extra time to do that stuff, it gives you more options when building. So it's always nice when we can do that.
It's very good storytelling.
Too. Like it.
Yeah, it's actually, if you, we always like to tie stuff back to older games a little bit. So here's our laundry detergent. It's the Dabra laundry detergent. We got a little cuddly bear on there. If you remember back to Sims 3, Abracadabra was our magic bear gnome.
Oh my gosh.
That came with laundry, so got a little reference to him in there.
Nice throwback.
Let's see, we've got another beautiful
This
kind of
one's
storage
so
solution over
good.
here.
I like how you added the little My Sims in there.
Cute
They
little
fit
collection.
perfectly.
So you can put those all throughout there. Plenty of places to slot things in again. Let's see, we've got another really gorgeous sink. I think this is one of the most beautiful ones in game.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And while we take a look at that, let me bring the PowerPoint back up. And just give you a sense, so this goes back to that creation side of things.
Yeah.
When we're creating all of these objects, because we work with external partners, what we do is our concept artists build what we call an object guide. And so it shows the object from some different angles. You can see the back view and the side view there. It shows, kind of the inner workings of it, so you can see the
Yeah.
pipes drawn through it. It shows what the different surfaces, like the properties of them are. So
Yeah.
like wood obviously needs to kind of shine differently than metal when light
Right.
hits that surface. And then for each color variant that we create, we specifically design every color that goes on every surface of that object.
Yeah, I'm really seeing that with like, especially the ones that have more rust look on them.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So a lot of detail goes into every one of these. We do that for every single object that goes into the game. So yeah, just let's see, continuing onwards here.
Oh, yeah.
We've got our laundry machines, but I'll come back to all the laundry gameplay stuff in just a minute.
Yeah, they're really wanting to look at that new window, by the way, too, and the doors.
We're good in there.
Yeah, so close, guys.
Some nice new flowers that you can decorate with, so you can put those
With
down.
wicker baskets.
Of course. We've got our little still life scene here. I think that
Yes.
one's quite nice. I'm going to turn off the grid. I forgot,
Yeah.
but I remember people always hate that in live streams.
That's okay. We were just so excited to show you things.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
We've got this nice new kind of potted plant, maybe like a old repurposed
Yeah.
barrel. It's really nice. Let's see. Oh, rugs. Right. I wanted to show off some
Yes.
cool stuff that we did with the rugs. So you'll remember from the concept art earlier, we had this kind of 3-piece rug. And, we've heard feedback. A lot of this isn't as versatile as you necessarily want.
Right.
So we went ahead and gave you that one, but then we also split them up individually. So you can grab each of these rugs separately and place them down however you want. And they come with some nice patterns as well. So different colors there. This one has a variety of different
Ooh.
things. And of course, we've got the size down sheet now
Yes.
too. So you can do small rugs. You can do giant rugs, whatever you need from your rugs.
You could
we
treat
got
them
you
like a
covered.
welcome mat. You can actually size it down for that.
One other thing with rugs that I think is cool. So this is the one that was actually voted on,
Yeah.
but we went ahead and added 2 others that were included in that original concept vote. And the reason we can do interesting things like this is when we're creating our packs, we kind of have strict limits on the number of assets that
Right.
we create. Like I know roughly how many objects and how many pieces of clothing that we'll make for every stuff pack. But this is kind of one of those unique ways where as a producer and what our artists can do internally, we can get a little bit extra out of that
Yeah.
process. So this is one asset. We only had to build this once because it's all roughly the same shape.
Yeah.
And then the material that we put on top of that is actually what the visual that you're seeing.
Yeah.
So we can just do these as different patterns, and then we go and we split it out separately in the object catalog. So that just gives you
Nice.
more variety and more cool rugs to play with.
Yes.
Let's get rid of those. Some other really nice things inside. Whoop. Didn't want to show my laundry layer down there just yet.
Oh, and by the way, for the chat, that coffee table, they wanted to remind us it was Parenthood, not
Was
Cats
it?
and Dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Parenthood.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Shout out to the GP team.
Yes. Go Ninja.
So originally, again, this was the one you guys voted for, but we went ahead and split that up into some separate assets for you as well. So you've got your towel rack, you've got your ironing board, again with some nice
Yes.
fun patterns. Just want to point out quickly, because some people always ask, the iron board isn't functional.
Right.
We
Decoration.
talked about that one originally during the voting process. We were hoping to have ironing, but just as we went through the schedule and through the scoping process,
Yeah.
we decided to focus on building, functionality out elsewhere.
Right.
And you're going to see that this laundry system is just ridiculously detailed, so I don't
It's
think you're
really
missing out
good.
on much there. And of course, our beautiful hanging bulb here, just kind of a classic old-fashioned bulb. I think it's so useful in a variety of situations. I love using that one now.
Yeah, you know what's funny though? I didn't think they'd actually vote for that one.
Oh, really?
And then they did. And I was like, oh, okay.
And those gorgeous bay windows that people were asking about earlier. Those are really nice for the exterior of your
Look
home.
at, oh, that's so gorgeous.
And we've got a nice new door as well. If
Mm-hmm.
you remember the concept art, we had the
Blinds,
curtain on
yeah.
it. Yeah, the blinds. And so it's a nice kind of country style door. There's one without the blinds, and here's one with the blinds. So that's, again, just a little more versatility, which is really nice. So, we've seen the clothing, we've seen the objects.
Yeah.
Why don't we get to the meat of this
Yes.
pack? Let's get to the features. And so, first thing I want to do is kind of pull up where we began. So, this is our brainstorm that you're kind of looking at. When we said, okay, eco-living, what are some of the different directions we could take this stuff? What are some of the things that players have expressed interest in? And we all got in a room, we tossed out ideas. I've shared this on Twitter before.
Yes.
But this is kind of what we do with every pack that we create.
Yeah.
Once we have a kind of a general theme that we want, we brainstorm all these insane ideas, and then we try and distill it down to like, what is the real essence of this pack?
Right.
And I think a lot of people have been kind of concerned as well. They say, oh my God, there's all these cool things. We want all of this. And then you're only giving us like 5 things.
Right.
And what is happening to all these other cool things that I want?
Where are they all going?
So I think it's good to point out that the stuff that you see here that is not in this pack, and even the themes that we voted on earlier in the process, there's nothing that says that these aren't going to come back in the future or that we might not make them sometime down the line.
Yeah.
Who knows? It could be a stuff pack. It could be in one of the other packs. But we recognize these are all great ideas. And I think because we voted on these specifically, especially with those themes, like that just helps show us as a team, like there's a lot of interest in a lot of the cool things that were proposed. So, hey, maybe in the future.
Yeah. I mean, you never know.
So let's see, moving right along here, I'll kind of show how we got into laundry. So this is really the earliest look. Once we knew we were doing laundry, we kind of did some rough sketches of our washer and dryer.
It's a really good looking washer dryer.
This is what we did for what we call an IR meeting. It's an implementation review where we've started work, we've done some really early 3D modeling that says, hey, here's how this thing is going to function. It's not necessarily how it's going to look in its final form, but these are the building blocks of how this thing is going to work. So what you're actually seeing here is that basic object, and then on the right-hand side, you've got a lot of information about the decorative slots. So this is saying, hey, there's 9 different small decorative slots. There's 5 different medium decorative slots. The focus that you'll see down there, that's actually a point on the object that when your sim looks at the object, that is the point on the object where they look.
Oh, okay.
The bind door, that's kind of where the door on the laundry machine opens and shuts, and it lets it know where the hinge is. And up top there, the transform bone, it's ahead of everything else because that's where we play the animation that makes the laundry machine shake.
Gotcha.
So when it's shaking, everything that's underneath that will also shake. So it's just a cool little look into what we do for game development. So going a little further, we had a clothesline in the pack as well, and you see an early sketch on the left, and then you see a really rough version of that model on the right without any of its materials and textures. And some people may notice the little decorative flourish. We decided to drop that for the final one. I think a lot of what we think about on stuff packs is, hey, we only know we're doing 1 or 2 versions of these objects. And because it's a gameplay feature, it's going to be unique to the stuff pack. So we're probably not creating more of them. So one thing I try and think about commonly is, hey, what can we give you that's going to be most versatile across a bunch of different builds?
Yeah.
So I think with that decorative flourish, that would certainly work in some architectural styles.
But not all.
Yeah, but it would look a little out of place in others. So we dropped that just so that you could use it in a variety of places.
Yeah.
Going a little further, you're starting to see some of those block models and early things come into the game. And so you've got your clothesline, your washer and dryer, the washboard, hamper, some clothes piles on the ground, the laundry bag that she's holding. And I can start to function and play with these in game, even though, of course, we don't have the final look.
Right.
And let's see. So I think that's the last piece of development I want to show. Let's actually get an idea of what these things behave and function like. So there's our washer and dryer. We've got a variety of different hamper styles. So this is kind of a fabric one. We've got outside here. our wash tub, and our clothesline. And let's get an idea of how they function.
Yes.
So up here I've got the dad in the family, and that's Luke Hess. And he's feeling a little grungy this morning. His hygiene's a little low. And I want to point out that he's actually a slob as well. So when I go and I change his outfit, he's going to create a clothing pile on the ground. And we're going to see right there when we hover over what that clothing pile's status is. So it's dirty, and the dryness, it's dry.
Okay.
So if I go and I just cheat his hygiene back up here, and let's have him change his outfit again. This time he's created a laundry pile where the cleanliness is used. So he's used this, but it's not dirty. It doesn't necessarily need to be washed yet. And the reason he's creating these clothing piles on the ground is because he's a slob. So that's not something you have to worry about with most of your Sims. Just if they have very specific traits, they'll be a little messier than everybody else. But let's go ahead and do some laundry. Let's clean up this stuff. So we're going to have him go ahead and add everything to our washing machine. So he's going to gather it from the hamper. He's going to pick up these piles that are on the ground. And we'll just head on downstairs.
So many good questions coming in.
Yeah, remember, just as we're going, Amanda's kind of saving some of the questions that you're asking for later. So questions about the pack, questions about game development, let us know. We're going to hit all of that in just a little bit.
Yeah, collecting stuff.
So we'll go ahead and add it to the washing machine. And you'll notice that he doesn't immediately start the washing machine either. This is because we can always go and we can add more clothing to our washing machine. I like to think of it as a magic laundry portal. You can stuff as many clothes in there as you want, just so you only have to do a single load when you're getting to wash all your laundry. So something that's a little fun, one of the upgrades that we have on our washing machine is the ability to add laundry additives. So some of these have different outcomes. We're going to see extra soap a little bit later, but for now I thought we'd ask Twitch, do you want to add food to the laundry machine, or do you want to add flowers?
Yeah, all right, Steve, start going.
Start watching.
Steve, you're gonna tell us the winner, who you perceive.
You guys can see chat
No,
too.
we got to make you
Steve,
do some extra stuff.
you have to do something here.
Okay.
Yeah.
The majority is food.
Is it? Okay.
No.
What do you mean, is it? You're staring at it.
No, I can't.
Look,
I
no,
see
this
like
is
a
going by
tiny fraction of
real
the
fast.
Oh, actually, yeah, your viewers.
Yeah.
Food?
Your
Food,
viewers.
yeah, it is actually
Okay,
food.
it's food, all right.
100%.
So let's go ahead and add some food. And we've got the ham and cheese sandwich or applesauce. This is actually what is in his inventory. So that's what informs the choices that you can make. Let's throw a ham and cheese sandwich inside.
Wow. What?
And you'll see he's evilly cackling. He thinks it's pretty funny.
What is this?
And we'll go ahead and we'll wash our laundry here.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
Hey.
our kitty's here. So if you have cats and dogs, cats can jump up on top of the washing machines. And that actually reminds me, I wanted to point out, a lot of people ask, like, hey, will the washing machines go underneath counters? No, they don't, but we had a good reason for that because we wanted to do stackable laundry machines, and we'll see that in just a little bit. But something we did want to do is make sure that they fit in with counters well, because that's a common way to build a laundry room.
Yeah.
So you'll see that they're the same width as counters, they're the same depth, the same height. So it should all fit into your room very nicely.
Yes, and I see it's like nice and level.
Yep. You got a nice load of laundry going in there. I think one of the really fun differences from what we did in Sims 3, where it was a top-loading washer. Oh, sure, I'll take some free earbuds.
Good.
That's from our fitness stuff pack. If you haven't seen that,
Thank you,
can
Molly.
get earbuds there. But I think it's really cool having the front-loading one, because now you get to actually see the laundry happening. I think that's fun. And our Sims can watch it as well. We'll tell him to watch the laundry. And if it's during the spin cycle, there's actually a chance that he'll get dizzy from that, which is a little silly, but it's a good time. Now, something else I wanted to show off that I think is pretty important, and actually you're going to see me referencing my notes here.
Yeah, so we want to make
notes.
sure we're telling
There's a
you
lot of
guys.
stuff.
I don't want to miss anything today, and normally I do a little outline for our streams. And you can see I've got both the front of this, I've got the back of this, I've got all these little details about this laundry system because there's so much that went into it. And something you might not know, just going back to the development side,
Yeah.
I tweeted out maybe in October or early November that we were finished on this pack.
Right.
And so it's been 2 months where I haven't been working on laundry stuff. I haven't been thinking about laundry stuff. My mind's in a totally different space.
Yeah.
And so coming back to do this live stream, I have to get back in there and reread the designs and
Yeah,
play
and
it
go
just
back
to remember
through.
all these details. But we've got so many cool things to show you today. So first thing I want to highlight here is watch the hamper over there.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and tell her to change her outfit.
Watching.
And there you
Oh,
go.
my
The
gosh.
clothing dropped right in it. So unlike with
Yeah.
our slob sim, when we go to change our outfits, those are going to go automatically into the hamper. Now, let's do that again, but I'm going to tell her to go take a shower. And you'll see that's in another room, but watch that hamper again. There we go.
Yeah, just like
Right back
collecting
into the
it.
hamper. So we remember back to Sims 3 when we first introduced laundry, there was a lot of feedback because at that time you had to have a hamper in the same room as your sim when they changed their outfit or the
right,
clothing would
yeah,
go onto
yeah.
the floor. And you know, that created lots of big messes. It was kind of a hassle to keep up with. So we wanted to make sure that laundry wasn't going to be a real pain
Yeah.
for you while you're playing the game. It's not a very intrusive feature.
not.
It's not going to take a lot of your Sims time. It's just kind of there to give you that feel of like, hey, this
Yeah.
is something that relates to me because I do it in my own life. And it's going to be fun to play with. And you'll see more of that as we go throughout this.
Yeah, and I mean, someone did ask, oh gosh, Keva Lily asked how close does a hamper need to be in order for that to work? Is it just, it has to be on the same floor?
So it's anywhere on the lot.
Right.
Let's send Mom out to the corner here. I'm just going to teleport her really quickly. And we'll have her change her outfit one more time. Watch that hamper.
Yeah.
So no matter where you are on your lot, laundry will always go into the hamper that's closest to you. But there's no restriction. You can be down in the bottom of your basement and you can have a hamper up on your
Right.
roof and it's going to get there. So it's really easy to play with. So we've seen a little bit of the washing machine. Let's show off the wash tub.
Yeah.
So we'll have Mom here. Let's see, what's her name again? Molly. So we'll have Molly come in, grab the laundry, and go out to the wash tub. Something else I should probably point out today is we're doing a ton of laundry, and we're going to create a ton of laundry, and we're going to do laundry over and over on this live stream.
Lots of laundry.
That is not kind of representative of the normal gameplay
No.
experience you're going to find. The way we design the feature and the way it's kind of balanced in game is you're going to need to do your laundry maybe about once a week.
Yeah.
And even then, there isn't a lot of negative pushback. Your Sims aren't going to get unhappy. They're not going to get really dirty when they're changing their
Yeah.
outfits. But I'll show a little bit more of what the pushback is in a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's not a feature that's meant to punish you.
No.
So here she is. She's scrubbing her clothing. This is a great option for kind of Sims who are living off the land. It's a very eco-friendly option because we know,
Yeah.
even though we've got kind of the high green tech washing and drying
Right.
machines, I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're great for the environment. But this is a much nicer option. So she's scrubbing her clothes. Don't need power.
Yeah, she's going all in on that too.
And let's have, while she's wrapping up on that, we'll have Dad go over here and move everything over to the dryer. So we'll unload and move our laundry too. And we can add it to the dryer or we can hang it on the clothesline.
That was a question someone had asked it somewhere in here.
Yeah, so you could have a washing machine and a clothesline. You could have a wash tub and a dryer. Like any combination of these things, we let you have full control over
Yeah.
where you move things
Your
to.
choice.
Yep. And when we hover over these interactions, it's going to let you know how your laundry is.
Yeah.
So we've washed it so the cleanliness is pristine.
Nice.
And the dryness is damp. So obviously we want to get these things dry next.
Look at that water dripping off.
Oh yeah, I'll just point out it's sparkling because it's nice and
Ooh.
clean and it's still wet, so it drips there. It's pretty fun. So laundry load is in, the lights turned on, so we can go ahead and dry laundry. Watch out for that lint tray. Maybe we'll come back to that in a little bit.
We should probably talk about that.
I've got a warning for you all later.
Yes.
And you can see, I mentioned earlier the washing machine and the dryer, they rumble a little bit when they're turned on, so that's pretty fun.
I love that.
I finally have the game audio up a little bit now, so you can hear the little gentle hum of the dryer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and looks like Mom just finished with the wash tub. I forgot to point out, just as she was going through, she actually gains a little bit of fitness skill while she's
right, because you're like,
scrubbing
that's a
those clothing.
workout.
It is.
Okay.
But it's only a little bit. We didn't want Sims to become these big muscle hunks just from
Doing
scrubbing laundry. So you get a little bit, but not too much.
Not a little.
So we'll have her go ahead and hang these up on the clothesline. I really love the way this looks. I think it turned out super cool.
Man, you guys are lots of good questions that I'm pulling here for us to come back to.
And so, you know, for our clothes on the clothesline, you can see the water dripping off of them, and that lets you know that they still need to dry. So when it stops dripping, you can go and get your clothes off the clothesline.
But it moves.
It does. I find it very relaxing, actually. Oh, here comes our kitty. So one of the things the cats will do, like when the laundry's dripping, they'll come out there and they'll kind of swat at the water that's dripping.
So cute.
Yeah. So they have a good time with that. Man, our cat is doing like
I
everything
know.
we
I
wanted
know.
her to do today.
This is not even on purpose. This is just great.
Go away, Bjorn. We're not chatting today. We're doing laundry.
Obviously.
So if we come back over to our wash tub here, we can see that water's looking a little grungy. So
Yeah.
once you've cleaned your dirty laundry in there, you're going to want to replace that water before you do the next load. So we'll just let that drain out. Pour some more water in. Nice and fresh.
Nice.
Okay, so you've seen the basics of how the system works now.
Yeah.
You've got your wash tub, your clothesline, your washer, your dryer. Let's get into the nitty-gritty details. So I'm going to go down to my little laundry layer here.
Wow. I had no idea he built this.
Do I have the lights turned on? Let's turn these on. Okay, it is. I just have black walls in here, so it's dark.
That's scary.
So this is to give you a sense of how in-depth this laundry system is. So I have a bunch of different clothing piles. I have a bunch of different kind of folded stacks of clothing, and I have a bunch of different hampers to really give you an idea of all the different possibilities here. So when I'm hovering over these, you're going to see when it's filthy, you've got these like green stink clouds coming off of it.
Yeah.
We go over to this one, it's dirty. So not the big green stink clouds, but you see some kind of dust floating off of it. And then we've got our used laundry, and this is kind of its default state after you've worn a pair of clothing and you change out of it. We've got our clean laundry. And over here, this one has actually decayed. It started out as pristine at the start of the stream, but over time, basically laundry will change states. So what's happening here, slowly, this used pair of clothing, if I let it sit there long enough, it's going to become dirty. If I let that one sit there long enough, it's going to become filthy. So gradually over time, laundry will kind of change its status.
Yeah.
So something that's really nice is we have a handy dandy cheat, set laundry state, and this is available for all of our players as well. So if you want to go in and just muck around with the laundry system, you can do that.
Nice.
And you'll see all the different status effects that laundry can end up being in.
Okay.
So we've got, let's see, 5 different levels of cleanliness, 4 different levels of dryness, and 2 scented states.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and make this one pristine. It's our highest level of cleanliness. It has a little sparkle to it.
So magical.
And the next one you have over here is our scented states. So this one's foul. If I get up close here, you can kind of see these flies buzzing around it. It's a little gross. And again, this one decayed on us, so I'm going to go ahead and set it to fragrant.
Ooh.
Just magic.
Yeah.
Clean butterflies.
Look at them. So
The scent of spring. Over here we have some different wetness states for our clothing. So these ones are damp. You've got a little pool of water underneath it. This one is actually soaked. So you can see the water actually dripping off of it.
Yeah, it's just like...
And over here we've got our clothing piles. This one started out as dirty, but it's actually decayed to the point where it swapped back into a clothing pile.
Okay.
So what happens is clothing piles are where you actually finish with your laundry.
Right.
When you take them out of the dryer, when you take them off the clothesline, you get this nice folded stack of clothing. And you can put that away to give your Sims fresh laundry to select from. So I'm actually, let's go ahead and cheat this one a little. Let's do dirty on it so you can see some of those status effects.
Oh, all right.
So there's dirty. Let's show off pristine. And it's kind of similar across all of them. And what you'll find is eventually we have the tooltip that lets you know, hey, this is what your laundry is.
Yeah.
But you'll be able to just visually look at these and tell what they are. So.
Oh, look at that. Just like dripping water.
Get our magic butterflies going again.
Yeah, right next to our flies. Good one.
And so same thing with the hampers. When you go to store your clothing in a hamper, we've got those same status effects. So we've got our filthy, our dirty, our pristine. Here's the soaking where you see it actually dripping out of the hamper.
Yeah, oh my God.
We've got our flies. Our butterflies went away, but that's okay. And here's a full hamper.
Yeah.
So when it actually fills up and you can't put any more clothing in there, you'll see it up at the top there. Now, let's see. I'm going to bring Dad down here because I'm going to show off some interesting things. Let me just catch up to where I'm at on my list.
I know, so much clothesline.
So let's put away some laundry just to show what this system actually does. So I'm going to take the soaked laundry here and let's go ahead and make it dirty and let's make it foul. So you can see it's dripping, it's got the dust, it's got flies buzzing around it.
Yeah.
But hey, that sounds like some great clothing to put in my dresser. So let's put our laundry away.
No.
Whoop. So now, when I go ahead and change outfits, he's going to get a buff or a moodlet that was associated with that clothing that he put away. So we had 3 different status effects on our clothing.
Right.
Its cleanliness was dirty, its dryness was soaked, and its scent was foul.
Right.
And so when I change clothing, it's going to randomly select from one of those 3 status effects, and it's going to give me a moodlet based on it.
Okay.
So he's a little embarrassed because he's wearing some smelly clothing. But let's say we change it again. So now he's got in a different random one.
Oh,
now he's
okay.
being affected by the dirty clothing that he put away. And if we change that again, let's see, he got dirty. And remember, he's a slob, so he's creating all these clothing piles. Most Sims, they're going to have it go directly to the hamper. Let's try a couple more times. Let's see if we can get that last one. There we go. So he's got soaked clothing, so he's angry about putting this soaked clothing on. Not very thrilled about that.
I mean, it's probably really uncomfortable because it's wet and...
So just to give you a sense overall of how this kind of works, because we put that clothing away, it's going to affect all the Sims in our household. So when any of them change outfits, so if they go to work, if they take a shower, you know, anything, they're going to get one of these buffs that apply to them. And you'll see it lasts about 4 hours each time they change their outfit. So we got a lot of bad buffs because we put some nasty laundry away. But when you put clean clothing away, which is what you're normally going to do,
please,
you'll get a lot of nice buffs and benefits out of that. And those effects last for about 3 days.
Okay.
So essentially, every time you change outfits for 3 days, you'll get the benefits of that laundry.
Oh.
So pretty nice.
Nice.
But I wanted to mention that clothing isn't generated when you're away from your home either. So if you're out about in the town and you change laundry, you're not going to get those buffs because, you know, you have to pull those from your drawer at home essentially. But at the same time, you're not going to create dirty laundry out around town either.
And that would be a little awkward.
Laundry only affects your active played household. So as you're playing, you know, you'll have the various effects of laundry, but you're not going to see Sims walking around town in like dirty, filthy outfits. Basically, it's for your family while you're playing.
Yeah.
One other thing to mention is there aren't really negative effects to your Sims if they don't do laundry. And I'm just going to have them go ahead and pick up some clothing here. We'll all put it in the hamper while I'm explaining. But again, we didn't want the system to be overly punishing.
Yeah.
So let's say you waited past those 3 days. You've put away laundry, but you're no longer getting effects from that laundry. Once that time passes, you're not going to be unhappy about the clothing you put on. Like if you wait 2 weeks and your Sims change outfits, it's just nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not that you're going to start putting on dirty clothing and be miserable all the time. The only kind of drawback to not doing laundry is that as you change outfits and clothing builds up in your hamper, if it gradually decays to the point where it's dirty, you'll remember from earlier, it does that decay.
Yeah.
That's when your Sim will start becoming uncomfortable, is when they're near that laundry.
Right.
So he's in this, well, he's not going to be too unhappy because
No, she will.
he's a slob, but let's move her down here. So you can see that she's uncomfortable because she's in these filthy surroundings, because we've got filthy laundry, we've got dripping laundry.
Yeah.
But that's only because she's near it. As soon as she was to move away from there, let's put her back upstairs, she's not going to be uncomfortable anymore. So one trick I kind of like doing with my laundry is if I really don't want to be bothered by it, but I still want to have laundry in my game,
Yeah.
you can just stick the hamper like down in a basement. And your clothing will always go down there, but your Sims don't have to go down there.
Right,
So
they
they
don't
don't
have
get
to.
uncomfortable. You can just go do laundry when you want to.
Yeah.
So it's pretty nice like that. Like we really wanted the system to not punish players. So we picked up all our clothing down there. And I want to show one more interesting thing with our laundry system. Like I said, there's a ton of detail packed into this thing. So let's go ahead and create 2 clothing piles here. And I'll show something neat that happens with them. So I'm going to drag this one over here, get this one right here, and let's go ahead and make this one dirty. And we'll use our cheat to make this one pristine. Just confirm, so dirty, pristine. And I'm going to go ahead and tell him to take these to a hamper. So as he's picking them up, I can hover over that and see, okay, he's got the dirty clothes.
Yeah.
But when he picks up the pristine clothing here, what we do is we actually average everything together.
Oh.
So as you're combining the different pieces of clothing, it said one was pristine, one was really dirty. Kind of the average of those two is it's used. So it's just kind of an interesting thing where just because your Sim is filthy and changes their clothing, it's not going to immediately make your hamper stink.
Right.
If you know most of what's in there is used
Oh, that
clothing.
toddler, though. She's got some filthy clothing on.
She's
very-
struggling.
They've
Ooh.
been very upset about
We're going to cheat our motives again.
not.
She's not been
They're
happy.
fine. They're fine.
As developers, we don't really care because we can just click on the needs.
Speaking of our toddler, just because we have her selected, I'll show something fun that she can do. There isn't a whole lot for toddlers in this pack, but we did want to add a little bit of something for them.
Look at her going down the stairs. Oh,
We're all
Cam.
happy you saved her.
Oh, she's so slow. I haven't turned her movement speed up, or her skill.
Look, she's just adorable. Let her do her thing.
I mean, as a toddler, who can resist? It's just
I
a tub full of
know.
water.
Look at her.
She's going to splash around in there. She'll have a good time. She'll even make some puddles doing that. You can place the wash tub indoors if you want. I don't highly recommend it, just because it will make puddles as you're using it. But, you know, up to you.
Oh, no, she's sad.
Oh, yeah. Yucky splash.
Yucky.
Oh, no.
Oh, dirty water.
So there's a few outcomes with that one. She got sad this time, but she can get,
She can get
have
happy.
fun with that
Okay.
as well. So, oh boy. So let's show off something else that's pretty cool with these things. We've got our, well, let's go ahead and put this laundry away. We've got nice laundry in here,
Oh.
I think. Pristine, dry, and warm. So now when they're changing outfits, they're not going to create a bunch of gross laundry
Yeah.
for us. So this is another interesting aspect of it. We put away that dirty laundry earlier, and
Yeah.
that would last about 3 days normally. But now that I've put away some nice clean laundry, If I change my outfit, it's going to get rid of those gross buffs.
Oh, you're
now I'm
so much
happy.
better.
I've got the pristine clothing.
Oh, but look at those clothes.
Yeah, it's dripping. It's gross. Let's show off something else that's pretty cool with this feature. So I'm going to go ahead and put these ones into my inventory. Let's move our sink right over there. And let's go ahead and get another washing machine out. So here's our stacked version, which is really cool. This is just an easy way in the catalog for you to grab the stacked version. You can grab them individually and set them on top of each other, so they're not pre-built like that. But just nice option. We'll go ahead and put it in the corner there.
Over the window?
Yeah, it's fine. This is fine.
Now, part of the reason why I grabbed a new washer and dryer here is to show off all the upgrades that come with these objects, because I already put some upgrades on the other ones.
Right.
So we've got things like the laundry additive tray. So this is how you add the food or the flowers.
Oh.
We've got a pre-soak option. This helps you create even cleaner laundry. Takes a little bit longer, but nicer outcomes. We've got the speed cycle. That shortens the length of time it takes.
Okay.
Our tungsten drum. So that'll help it not break. And whisper quiet. So if it's rumbling a little too much for you, that'll quiet it down.
Okay.
Then over on our dryer here, some of the similar upgrades, but the other one I'll point out is lintless. The lint trap in your dryer does need to get cleaned.
Yes.
Very important. I'm going to warn people right now. When you are doing... Amanda's cracking up because I've told her about this. When you dry your clothes in this game, it will generate lint in your dryer. I would say this is potentially the most dangerous object in The Sims 4 to date. If you do not clean that lint trap, there is going to be a fire in your home. I'm just going to say it. Maybe you'll get lucky one time, maybe 2 times, but there's going to be a fire.
Why did you tune it so that this is a ticking time bomb?
Hey, this is all part of player feedback, Steve.
Player feedback?
They've told me...
Did they vote for this?
They've told me the game is not dangerous enough. They've told me
but can you
that they want more ways to start danger and for your Sims to die.
Are we telling them why? Or
I think they need to understand what else is also dangerous.
Oh, you want to know that part?
I think they need to know.
Okay.
I'm also crying right now because I can't.
This is really a PSA too.
This is a PSA.
So that leads into one of the next things that I was going to show here. Children can now do laundry as well. Because children can do laundry, and children have the potential of starting fires with this, your child is in some real danger if they are doing laundry and there are no adults around. If they start a fire, they do not have the ability to put that fire out themselves.
No, they don't.
And so you can just imagine where that scenario might go.
God,
And I'm just going to leave it at that. You'll discover in your own game.
I'm not even kidding. I am kind of crying because it's just killing me.
So before we actually have him do laundry, let's do one fun thing here. Dad's a little mischievous. We're going to have him put his laundry additive in here, and we'll do extra soap this time.
Yeah.
Now, extra soap, it might sound like a somewhat nice, benign thing, but you'll quickly see it can get a little troublesome. So let's have our kid here. He's going to be responsible. So people asked, hey, how does this play with parenthood? Does it affect your children? So we'll see that as he does laundry, he's actually going to get responsibility gain there, which is really nice. And, I'll point this out as well. I didn't even think to mention this earlier, but the fish that's on there, I saw a lot of people asking, what are the fish in the flour? That's based on the laundry additives.
Oh.
So if it's a fish, you know there's a negative one in there, and if it's a flour, you know there's a positive one. So let's wash our laundry.
I'm just like, please
How
don't.
clean is this lint trap?
Well, because we added that extra soap, you can see it actually overflowed.
He was just trying to be responsible.
Not this time.
Wow. Set up for failure.
And because it's stacked, you'll see that he actually can't add it to the dryer. It's a little too high for him to reach.
Yeah.
So let's bring a parent back in here to be the responsible one. Let's go ahead and replace our broken washing machine. And let's put our laundry into the dryer. So another interesting thing about the washing machine is this is actually the first object in The Sims 4 that can break in 2 different ways.
Oh.
What do you think? Should we clean the lint tray?
No.
Okay. let's try it. We'll risk it. Let's see what happens. Oh. Fun.
All the fun.
Oh,
Whoa.
I told you. You. Oh no, don't go to safety. Save yourself.
Hello.
No. Go back.
He's laughing. He was
Look at all that
laughing.
dirty laundry.
He's the evil one who started this.
Oh my god.
Okay. You've seen the dangers. Do not say I did not warn you.
You got a warning.
All right, let's have her clean herself up. There we go. And so our dryer's finished. I think we're back in a safe state here.
Wait, what are the ashes on the floor?
Our rug burned up.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Another thing I'll kind of mention about the hampers, I didn't mention this earlier, they hold about 20 changes of laundry.
Oh,
So there's a lot that goes into them. What I would recommend is 1 hamper per sim in your household, and that'll hold about a week's worth of laundry for you. So, yeah.
Also, you guys couldn't really see it, but all the fire remotes that were going off in chat were on point. So.
Oh, nice.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
So I think I was saying a little bit earlier, washing machine, first object that breaks in 2 different ways. And that's pretty cool, actually, because it can break its electronics or it can break its plumbing.
Oh.
And when you think about dangerous things in The Sims, there are a few things that are more dangerous than trying to repair an electrical appliance while standing in a puddle of water.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind as well. If it breaks in both ways at the same time, I would highly suggest mopping up the water before you repair that electrical fault.
Right.
Just a thought.
just another PSA for folks who are worried about their cats or dogs or puppies or kittens in game. They can only pass away due to old age. So fires from lint traps will not kill them, thankfully.
So right there, he's actually cleaning out the washing machine. If you ever add laundry additives that you don't want, you can go in there and clean them out, or if you see somebody's pranked you ahead of time.
Yeah.
And let's add some flowers, just because we're gonna get a nicer load of laundry going here for us. There we go. And so as I've added the additives out here, you can see it's going to give you a nice outcome on your laundry machine.
Yeah.
And if you want to get rid of those, again, you can replace the water, and that kind of just refreshes everything.
Right.
So it's a system with a whole lot of details. You can do whatever you want with this. Very powerful in terms of player choice.
Yeah.
So let's add a clothing pile on the ground, because I want to show another fun interaction that we have. On the clothing pile, we can actually search through the pockets. And you never quite know what you might dig up. Maybe some loose change, maybe some little object you left behind. Let's see if he finds anything.
That is always a thing to do with your laundry.
Oh, you got 24 simoleons,
Yeah, that's not bad. I've found a 20 in my, jean pocket before.
Hey, wake up, kid. I've got more to show with you. So let's bring him down here, because children can also do that as well. So again, we wanted to make sure it was for all ages, which is pretty cool. So we can have him dig through the hamper.
Oh, that's actually a nice movement there.
A little wiggly.
Yeah.
Let's see if he'll get an object instead of money.
Fingers crossed. Man, that cat is just on a roll. Oh, no, he
just
got
some more money.
simoleons.
All right, I'm going to leave it up to players to discover what sort of objects you
Yeah.
can find in there then. Some other kind of fun social interactions that we added in this pack. We have the infamous "What's That Spot?" mischief interaction. So If I can bring a few of my Sims over here. Let's see if our child can prank Mom here. Hey, what's that spot on your shirt? Whoop. So he got her. And again, this is a social interaction that can go between all the different ages. So let's go try it on Dad here with Mom. Some Sims, they'll be clever, they'll be onto the ruse, and they'll kind of slap their hand away. Let's see if Dad can figure it out. Oh, yep.
Yeah,
He knows what's up. And we have another social interaction as well. So I'm going to cheat this just so we don't have to go through the whole process of washing and drying clothing and getting the outfit that we want. We've got some nice fragrant clothing here. So let's bring Mom down here, and we're gonna put this laundry away. So now when she changes her outfit, because it was fragrant, we have that possibility of getting the nicely scented clothing. We didn't get that this time. We got kind of just clean clothing. Let's try again. Nope, just our used clothing.
I think it's because she's uncomfortable too.
Well, she'll still get the buff. I just want to make sure she gets the right one here. There we go. I think we got it that time.
Ooh, blue.
So let's bring her back upstairs. Just gonna cheat again. And so when Sims are wearing nicely scented laundry or gross laundry, you have some other social interactions that you can do with them. So we can, where is it? Sniff fresh clothing.
Oh,
Oh, lovely.
you're smelling good, honey.
Or if we grab another one of these, let's just bring this one upstairs for them. Let's go ahead and make this one really gross. Let's make it foul, and then we'll put that one away. And so if he, oh, cool, he still has the foul one from earlier. Perfect. So we can have Mom go over here, and it's actually a mean interaction to sniff foul clothing.
Ooh.
So depending on how socially inappropriate your sim is.
No.
It's a fun little thing. So I want to show something a little bit different. A lot of players have asked about laundromats, and we don't have a laundromat in the pack. It was something we discussed at one point, but
Yeah.
we really want to both focus on the home experience and being a stuff pack, you know, a new type of venue. It's a little bit more than we can squeeze into this.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, this is actually a huge stuff pack.
It really is.
But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and grab that pile of clothing, and I'm going to head over to a different location.
Ooh. All right.
So let's go visit the gym. So like I said, this is a big stuff pack. We've got the washer, the dryer, the wash tub, the clothesline, and the pile of folded, like
And
the
the
clothing
hamper.
pile and the hamper.
Yeah.
And that is more functional objects than we've done in any other stuff pack.
Yeah.
So this was quite a big project for us to tackle. But we wanted to make sure that for people who wanted to tell the story of a laundromat, you can still have something like that. So I've added some washers and dryers to my gym up here in the locker room. And so if you bring your laundry with you, where he's added it to his inventory there, we can go ahead and do laundry. So we'll drop it in our washing machine. So basically the difference between this and say a full-fledged laundromat is you're not going to see other Sims bringing their laundry here to do it, but it is an option available to you. So say you don't have enough room for everything in your home.
Yeah.
You can just have, you know, one thing, create your laundry, bring it here and to actually wash and dry it.
Yeah.
Whoop, should get that started for him. Oh. Oh, I forgot to put it in there. That's why. And I want to point out one cool little thing. Again, we just, we couldn't do the full laundromat, but we wanted to give a little nod to people. So there is one color variant that has a coin slot on the front of it. So, and it kind of comes in that standard commercial color for a washer and dryer.
Yeah, it could still be part of that storytelling.
Yep. So we'll speed them up a little bit here, get some clean laundry out of this.
So while we're doing that, a couple people have asked, will Sims do laundry autonomously?
They will. So if you just leave it at home and your Sims aren't busy, they may go pick up their laundry. Basically, they'll take it through the system and they'll put it away at the end.
Yeah.
The other thing is butlers and maids can also help out with the laundry. So if you have a butler from Vintage Glamour stuff in your home, they will take care of the laundry for you. You'll still have to put it away at the end. We wanted to make sure that part wasn't autonomous.
Yeah.
Because that actually affects the buffs and the effects on your Sims. So that part you have to choose to do. But otherwise, they will go through and clean laundry for you.
Right.
And your maid, just because laundry can take time, your maid might start the process for you, and then you'll just have to wrap it up.
Right. That was another question of can maids and butlers do laundry?
Yeah. When this finishes, you'll hear a little chime on the machine as well. That helps you know if you got a positive or negative outcome. So depending on, how upgraded the machine is, if the machine's broken, different things can affect it.
Yeah.
But you can get different status outcomes. So our clothing could come out dry and warm. It could just come out dry. It could come out still damp and you'd have to dry it again.
Yeah.
Or, maybe the machine breaks and it's still soaked. Oh, we actually got a negative outcome there. You can hear that kind of downer charm. So basically, if I look at it, it's still clean, but it's damp because it didn't finish all the way. So let's go ahead and just dry our laundry again. I know a lot of people are kind of concerned about how much time laundry might take for their Sims as well. But you'll notice all you have to do is turn the machine on. You don't have to stay there. So it's just one, they push a button, done. So it's not going to really eat into your Sim's entire day.
Yeah, and doesn't eat into my day in real life. So oh, Brenton Brandt, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Oh,
Coming to the gym.
Of course.
So I'm going to have him finish drying his laundry here, and then there's one last really important thing that I want to show in the live stream today. But we can use this time to, ask and answer questions as well.
Yes. Well, one question from April Lee's, will they clean the lint trap autonomously?
Well, let me phrase this in a way. If you have a butler or a maid, they will take care of the lint trap autonomously. We didn't want them just starting fires on you. Right. If it's your own Sims, you have to be a little more aware. You're going to go want to clean that lint trap yourself. And of course, we have that lintless upgrade on your machines as well. And so if you don't want to worry about the lint trap, you can always add that upgrade and then fires aren't going to start.
A couple of people have asked if this particular pack was going to be coming to console soon. Right now, it is only releasing on PC and Mac, but again, we are always looking to bring more of our DLC over to console, so just keep an eye out on our social channels for any news about stuff. We just released the Dine Out game pack for console earlier this week, so yeah, you guys, lots of fun stuff.
So before we get to some more questions, I'll show this next interesting part. So we've brought our laundry home from... not the laundromat, but the gym.
But the gym, yeah.
And so I'm going to go ahead and put this laundry away. And so again, if I change my outfit, of course, I'm going to get the benefits of that laundry. But a lot of people have wondered, like, hey, if I buy this pack, maybe I don't want all my households to have to do laundry.
Right.
But those clothes sure do look cool. Those objects are gorgeous. I want them in my game. Do I have to worry about this? And the answer is absolutely not. I think one of the most positive things we did with laundry back in The Sims 3 was that it was kind of an opt-in feature. Right. And it is exactly the same in Sims 4. So let's say I go into build mode here, and let's just get rid of my laundry objects. So No more hamper, no more washer dryer. Say goodbye to the clothesline and wash tub. And we'll get that hamper.
Yeah.
We'll get all the ones in my laundry layer.
You're-
So I think that's all of them. So without that, now when I change my clothing, and remember he's a slob, so normally he would just throw it on the floor.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
No laundry.
no laundry.
I'm just going to remove this buff just to show you as an example. Even though he put that laundry away recently, I go and I change my clothing, he no longer gets those buffs. So it's just a matter of having any of the objects on the lot. So
Yeah.
if I were to just plop a wash tub back down, and then I go and I change his outfit again, laundry's back.
Okay.
So it's really that simple. You have them on your lot, you make laundry. If you don't, you
You
never
don't.
have to worry about it. So really cool.
See, that's a really nice addition.
So yeah, let's take some more questions. I think I showed off just about everything I wanted to get
Well,
through.
in the case of Rory Plays asking if there was a new death, I mean, it's not really a new death, but I think it's pretty dark. So
It's not a new death type, it's still you've burned to death.
you burned to death.
But
There
hey,
is-
watch out for it.
You better watch out. Let's see. Oh gosh, I'm gonna totally mess this up. Gemini Gar asked, "Is there a chance we'll get more styles for washer and dryers in future packs?" We can't, like, most of the time gameplay objects stick to like the particular pack they were created in, right?
Yeah, I think kind of the other stuff pack feature I remember where this question most came up was probably hot tubs
Yes,
back in Perfect
right,
Patio.
yeah.
And I think what I told people at the time was a lot of the features that come in the stuff packs, they are going to be exclusive to that stuff
Mm-hmm.
pack. So if we were to revisit them in future, we'd probably want to explore them in a slightly different way.
Yeah.
You know, something that offered a different take or a twist on it more than just the visual aesthetic of the object. So right now, not really any additional plans for different types of laundry machines.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, a few people are like, "Oh, I wanted one that went for the top." Like, I mean, I get you.
Yeah, we thought about doing the whole top loader, but what we wanted to add support for children to do laundry because
Right,
it ties
yeah.
into parenthood nicely. And it's just another sim who can help out with the chores. And we wanted the ability to stack them. And
Yes.
we would have lost that with the top loader.
Exactly, and the stacking is super great too. Oh, I don't think, did we show off? Equippy asked, "What's the swatch options for the clothesline?" I don't
Oh.
remember us showing that.
That's a good point. I did not show off those. So let's get some of our laundry objects back out.
And while we're doing that, La Femina Kita 97 had asked, "Will clothes piles only appear if you have a washer and dryer on the lot like The Sims 3? For those who may have missed that at any point, you do have to have at least one of those items on the lot.
So if we take a look at some of the color variants that come with this, just a whole variety of styles for your washer and dryer.
Options.
And those are going to match up between the different objects, so you can always have them looking the same. Or something I really liked doing was kind of color coding them.
Oh yeah, just
So a
so
lot of
you
times
know
I
which
would make my
one.
washer blue and my dryer red. But they've got the little symbols on there as well. So you've got the water
Yeah,
drop
I was
as your
noticing
washer,
that.
and you got kind of that dry heat little
Yeah.
symbol for your dryer. We've got 3 different types of hampers.
Ooh.
So a nice wicker one, and that has some patterns on it as well, or just kind of your plain colors. We've got a plastic hamper. Again, nice just color options. And we've got our fabric hamper. So those are great.
Oh yeah.
Our wash tub comes in a variety of things as well. Kind of a classic crock pot look.
Yeah, I was about to say that looks like a crock pot I owned back home.
And our clothesline kind of matches a lot of the other wooden palettes that you see
Yeah.
on the objects in the pack. So from your simple to your painted colors, just nice stuff there.
Oh, and honestly, just the clothesline makes me so happy because I had a clothesline close to this when I was a kid. Let's see. And just in case anyone may have missed it at some point, Blue Skies Only had asked, do any other traits besides the slob cause unique interactions, etc.?
I want to say that the thing where they place the clothing on the ground instead of in a hamper, I believe that's for slobs and for lazy sims.
Oh, okay. I mean, that would make sense. Yeah, that would definitely.
And then sims who are neat are going to be, way more gung-ho about doing laundry and taking care of it autonomously.
We have seen that with Eliza.
Yeah, we've got a fun idle stream coming up after this where you're going to join the pancakes. So Bob Pancake and Eliza Pancake, and you can just relax with them and
they're
watch
doing
them
laundry.
doing laundry. And Eliza is all about
laundry. She is all about it.
She is a neat freak.
Let's see. All right. And again, just another reminder for folks. This one was asked by Happy Leia 03. What happens when you're not on your home lot for laundry?
So if you're not on your home lot, you won't get the benefits of the laundry system. So let's say I went to that gym and I changed into my workout clothing. If I did laundry recently, I'm not going to get any of the buffs from that, just because I'm not at home where my clean clothes are.
Right.
So when you change your outfit at home, you get all those benefits, and then you kind of go out on the town and enjoy them.
Yeah.
But similarly, we don't punish you when you change your clothing when you're out on the town. You're not going to generate laundry or dirty clothes piles unless you're at home.
Right.
Maybe another fun aspect of that, just to touch on, is the camping. So when you go to, over, what is the name of our camping world?
Oh, Granite Falls.
Granite Falls, that's the one. So when you're off at Granite Falls and you've rented a campground, if you were to place laundry objects on that campground, you could actually create laundry there or do your laundry there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I wouldn't have thought about that. And I feel like a lot of the questions I pulled were stuff that I knew people might ask later on who missed certain parts. But Cactus Dance asked, does the hamper ever get full? It does, but it takes about how many changes of clothes?
So 20 changes of clothes. It'll hold up to 20. And then after that, it'll start spilling over. And that's when your Sims will create
The
clothing piles on the ground.
Yeah. Let's see. I am W. Hudson asked, is the proximity of the hamper to the washer important at all?
No, it's not. So basically, you can always click on the hamper no matter where it is on the lot. And that's where you say, hey, do laundry. And you'll select either the washing machine or the wash tub if you have one of them on your lot. And you take them from the hamper over there. And I think I mentioned briefly earlier, your sim won't immediately start the load of laundry in a washing machine. And that lets you go around the different hampers and collect the laundry and put it in there if you'd like.
They did want to know, what did the sandwich do to the laundry? that was something.
So that's what made the laundry foul. If you remember, we had that sniff foul clothing.
Yeah.
And it makes your sim embarrassed when they put on clothing. So you can put fresh food in there. You can put rotted, stinking food in there. It's going to make your laundry turn out poorly if you do that, so it's kind of a mischievous thing. And the opposite of that was flowers. So, like I have, let's see, some roses and some snapdragons, and I collected those from my garden. And so I can take those and I can add them to laundry, and it's just a nice benefit, and it gives you that pleasant, scented fragrance.
Yeah, makes you smell real good. Ruby Star 92 asked, do their clothes get dirtier than normal if they are working out?
So that doesn't affect your clothes directly. What that affects is your Sim's hygiene level. So that's no different than it is in your game right now.
Yeah.
But you'll recall earlier when my Sim had changed his outfit when his hygiene was low. Let's just show an example of that. Let's get his other motives up. So I'm going to change my outfit. My hygiene isn't low right now. And I've created just used dry clothing.
Yeah.
But if my hygiene is down, and I go ahead and I create another outfit, you'll see that this one is dirty. One other thing I can show off that's kind of similar. Let's go ahead and add a pool for him.
Fast building.
That's right. So we'll turn his hygiene back up. It doesn't really affect this, but have him get out of the pool. And so he's just been swimming. He's a little dripping wet. And if we change his outfit, so now the clothes that he's created are soaked. So some of the things that you do in game affect the laundry piles that you create.
Right.
But that's really when you're changing out of your clothing. It's not like in the moment as you're wearing your clothing.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, suddenly Ducks asked, how often can you scavenge in laundry?
So once you've scavenged like either a particular piece of clothing or in a certain hamper, you can't scavenge that one again until there's more laundry added to it.
Okay.
So let's just go ahead and search pockets here, see what we get. And then you'll see afterwards you can't search again.
Ooh, hopefully an object.
And just remember, like, we're totally open to answering questions about, you know, development of the pack or this project as well.
Yeah, I was trying to like go through that. Oh, I'm guessing somebody asked, but it's in this doc as if Ruski asked. Do the washing machines affect bills at all?
No. So that was something we kind of considered early on. We thought about having like a low flow water option that would reduce your bills. The bill system in The Sims 4 is actually fairly complex,
Yeah.
and trying to tie gameplay features into that takes some extra engineering work, where we felt like focusing more on the core laundry features made more sense for this pack, so we don't have anything that affects the bills in this one.
Zelda Boy 180 asked, do you guys think you will do another community project like this in the future? That's going to be an interesting thing to answer. I don't ever like to say, you know, never. It has been really fun for us. Especially, it's been really fun for Graham. You know, because he was the perfect person when we all, like, got around this project, who were like, yes, like, perfect guy to be able to talk about game development, and engage with you guys. You know, he loves, being transparent and getting you involved. And I mean, we all do. And like, stuff packs were the best thing to fit it into, because when you add in larger types of packs, there's more that goes into work for that. And the timelines were just right. But, I can't speak for the future. We never like to do that. But personally, I'd love to do another, thing like this in the future. Even if it's not a pack, maybe like something fun to add in for base game update, stuff like that. It would be really cool to get you guys involved again.
I think what I would say is this was a great learning experience, not only for myself and for the Stuff Pack team, but just for the studio as a whole. In terms of gathering feedback from you guys, seeing, how the community responds to different aspects of it, trying votes in some different ways and different approaches and seeing, how that resonates with people. So this was interesting because we've never done anything like it before. It was a really unique initiative. It's been awesome seeing how players responded to it. And I think that can really help inform things in the future. Whether it's, some of the data and feedback that we got on this project about, both themes or, the whole process. I think there's a lot of stuff we can learn and take into the future where if we were to ever do something like this again, we can learn from that and make tweaks.
Oh, yeah. I'll say
more time to do some,
so
some design, PRs and IRs.
That's an interesting thing, right, Steve? So one thing that was kind of important in this project to us was let's make this as close to an actual development process as possible. So the things that you all voted on were the same questions that we have group discussions about. So we wanted it to be very authentic to the development process. And along the same line, our development schedule was exactly what it would normally be. So I had a lot of like grand ambitions about different things that we could show off and discuss. And we got to a lot of that, and I think there's still some things in this project that I'd like to share, you know, even after this pack releases, just once I have time to do that. But because a lot of what we were doing was just on top of our regular responsibilities, it was really difficult once we got into the production cycle of this pack to spend as much time sharing as I would have liked to. So that was another kind of takeaway to learn about it.
It was, I will say, I spent a long evening in particular with the objects and clothing voting, having to put the image together with every individual thing that you were going to be voting on. To the point where I think I like doubled up on some of the voting like item lines, and some people called it out like, oh, that's not right. That was 3 a.m. Amanda brain not realizing what was going on at that point. Everything was bleeding together, but even for me, like, I'm not normally part of a lot of the development stuff. I'm very much the communication side, so I normally don't get involved until it's closer to we're going to start talking about it, we're getting ramped up, and I sat in pretty much every DRIR for this because I was recording everything, and that was just a lot. That was a lot. I'd never experienced that before. I was like, okay, new side of game development that I hadn't even experienced, which was awesome.
And you mentioned DRs and IRs. That's a design review meeting and an implementation review meeting. It's really where the whole team gets together, gets on the same page, understands the design, understands the work involved, provides estimates on how much time we think this is all going to take us, just so that we can ensure that what we're doing actually fits within the scope and schedule of a stuff pack. And we recorded those. I think we'd like to try and show those off at some point. I think it's kind of fortunate in a way that we didn't do that during development, because a lot of what was discussed in those meetings is in flux. Like, as we go through and implement the features and iterate on the features and even tune the features so that they feel good as you're playing them, that they change from those initial discussions. And what we always don't want to do is create confusion about what you're actually getting. So I think it might be nice to go back to those and look back once you've had a chance to play it and see how it actually turned out in game.
Right. I'd love to do that. Let's see. Rory Plays asked, what is your favorite part of this pack?
Honestly, like
the lint trap.
The lint trap.
No, I mean, I love the lint trap. I really love the way the clothesline turned out, because it's so cool watching them hang it up and watching it sway in the breeze.
Oh yeah, that is my favorite.
I think what I actually like though is just the feeling that it brings to my games. I'm somebody who enjoys creating things that are realistic. I enjoy creating a real simulation of life that's relevant to my own life. So I always felt like, hey, laundry rooms kind of feel like they're missing from when I'm building a home. And now I can have that aspect of a home. Like, I can build my childhood home that had a laundry room in it. I can have my Sims do laundry once a week because we all need to do laundry. So I like how that ties back into the overall experience. And I'm so happy that the system that we ended up designing and our two designers on the pack just did a fantastic job putting this all together and making a laundry system that was fun. But again, it doesn't punish you. You're not going to have a bad gameplay experience if you have laundry but don't do your laundry. It's just going to give a little bit of pushback on you. And then when you go do your laundry, it gives you those nice benefits. So I love the way it turned out.
Someone else said, there was, here it goes. Potter Watch 44 asked, what was the hardest thing to create for this pack?
Oh boy. This pack was a real doozy, I'll be honest. As you've seen today, the laundry system has a lot of complexities with it. There's a lot of little details in there. I think what turned out being pretty challenging was syncing up all of those different potential outcomes, because you saw there were 5 different cleanliness states, 4 different dryness states, 2 different scented states. And every combination of those is possible on laundry at the same time.
Yeah.
And so you have that combined with, what, 2 different ways to wash the clothes, which all have 4 different outcomes, 2 different ways to dry the clothes. Those also have 4 different outcomes. All of those can be taken through the laundry system in any order that you choose. And it multiplies
Right.
over and over in complexity. And it was difficult keeping track of that all. Difficult kind of rooting out all the little issues and implementation with that all and bringing it all together into this cohesive system.
Yeah.
And I worked on the build system in base game. Some people know that about me because I love seeing people send screenshots of like the high bills that their Sims get.
Yeah.
But when I think back to that build system, it was difficult to work on and test and tune because bills take a week in game.
Yeah.
And so to actually spend that time and understand that gameplay system and understand how it impacts your games, you have to sit there and play through that full week. And when you're working, in the studio, that's a lot of time to just sit there playing the game.
Yeah.
And so the same thing is kind of true with laundry. We didn't want it to be an intrusive system that you had to spend a lot of time with.
Yeah.
And we wanted it to be about once per week you do your laundry. And so to do that and to make sure it felt good, you have to sit there and spend the time really playing it over and over and over again and fine-tuning the balance of that and sharing feedback and doing it again and seeing how it feels. So it was pretty intensive time-wise on this one, to be honest.
Broloff98 asked, why do you have so many external partners? Wouldn't it be quicker to create the pack internally? For the most part, we do.
So I can talk about that a little bit because I've mentioned it in our blogs about clothing and object creation. The way we handle all of our stuff is when we're first thinking about it, coming up with the initial ideas, we create all the concepts for those in-house here at the studio. And we have a lot of internal modelers and internal character artists, and they create a lot of the content that you see in the game.
Yeah.
So the washing machine, all the hampers, the clothesline, the wash tubs, those are all things that our internal artists created.
Right.
Because those are new gameplay features, they function differently. And so, we need somebody here in our studio to actually build those who we can coordinate with, on a daily basis.
Yeah.
For other things like clothing and mimic objects, which a mimic is just something that we've already created in game and we're creating another one of them.
Yeah.
So say a living chair. We already know how to create a living chair. There's no technical questions to answer there.
Yeah.
We know what size it has to be. We know what joints it has to have. It's all well defined. So we can have our concept artists go through and say, here's exactly how I want this to look. And then we can leave our internal artists to work on a lot of the difficult new stuff that requires all that communication.
Yeah.
While we have some external partners who help build out that breadth of the catalog that you get to play with.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
Did you turn off autonomy? Is
Yeah.
that why? Okay. Because
Yeah.
everybody's needs are failing, and they're worried about the toddler again.
We can turn autonomy back on now that we're answering questions.
Pee for like the last. I was gonna say, but I think it was Broloff or whoever had asked that last question. He also asked, why don't we use beta testers and we test internally, which I think is a good development question.
I mean, we have a whole lot of testers.
Yeah, we do.
To be clear, we have both an internal team of testers, we have an external team of testers who are also EA employees, but they're at a different location, and we coordinate a whole lot of that.
Yeah.
Beta testers, I think on a stuff pack in particular, would be very challenging because stuff packs have short development cycles.
Yeah.
You saw this project start back in April last year, but that doesn't really give the full context for the work that's done because while it started in April, development on a stuff pack is actually fairly condensed.
Yeah.
Because we can work on multiple things at the same time. So while we're finishing up one stuff pack, we're already thinking about planning, writing designs for what goes into the next one. So the actual development time where we're working on what's going in the game, that's a much shorter window of time.
Yeah.
And when we get to the point where we're ready to actually test the features and find bugs and work on fixing those and polishing the pack for release, that's a period of, a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And so the coordination involving external non-EA beta testers, with ensuring that NDAs are respected and things don't leak so that we can still surprise all of you in the community with what we're working on. Coordinating the kind of bugs and feedback that we get from those testers. It becomes a really complex process for a short, condensed period of time.
Yeah.
And that's just, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for a stuff pack.
No. And something else, Scobre, asks, aren't influencers in a way beta testers? So this this is an interesting question. So yes and no. And to be clear, when it comes to, The Sims, every member of our community we'd consider an influencer in a way. You influence, stuff that we put into the game. You have conversations with us, give us feedback, ideas.
Not just SP13.
Not just SP13.
The one that we voted on.
Not just this one. Because you're constantly talking to us and engaging with us, whether it's in the forums or on social. We read stuff on Reddit. Yes, there are people who make YouTube videos and are making content around stuff like that. And, if you were to look at it as us using them as beta testers, yes, when things like we give them a code prior to the pack releasing so they can create content, there are times when, they'll reach back out and they'll say, hey, I was playing this and I actually experienced this issue. And they're kind of giving us, heads up on something that, we may not have encountered, because in the grand scheme of things, it's hard to figure out every single way that something is going to break, or that, there's a certain process that you have to go to recreate or reproduce an issue, and not everyone has those same things like mapped out. Like everyone has like a step-by-step thing of how something could an object could break or a weird glitch could happen. So for them, yes, like they help us and let us know, hey, I experienced this thing because it was a unique situation for the way they play the game. Not everyone plays it the same. I definitely don't play the same way that Graham plays. So, we're a little different. So they help in that way. And there's overall, within EA, just, outside of Maxis even, is just we want to continue finding ways to get the community involved. And, beta testers would be awesome. But it does have the issue of NDA and making sure people respect that. And how do we get them involved? Is it, an external thing? We try and bring people in at times to do play tests to make sure we're on track. But that's normally for the bigger packs, especially expansions. So it's like bringing them in, making sure, is this feeling right for you? Do you feel like something's missing? And we did that with cats and dogs. We had a couple different play tests happen. So it's not that we don't want to. It's just the needs have to be there. But it's something that just as a company, we're looking to continue to involve our communities in the creation of the content we put out for you and others to enjoy. By the way, they are asking, how long do those clothes dry on the line? Because they're like, it's been very wet.
Still going.
Oh yeah, so clothing, I want to say it takes about 12 hours. You hang them up and just let them stay there.
Yeah.
So definitely like faster. If you want the fast option and the convenient option,
the
washing machine and dryer is the way to go. You load it, you turn it on, you're done. You can come back to it when they're done.
Yeah.
The wash tub, obviously more friendly for the environment.
Yeah.
Cheaper in the sense that, it costs less up front. And, maybe that's just kind of the story you're trying to tell, a little more rustic, a little more back to the earth.
Oh, look at him.
But, of course, the other side of the wash tub is you have to sit there scrubbing it. And then if you use the clothesline, it does take longer for those clothes to actually dry. But at least if you're
scrubbing it, you're getting a little bit of a workout for your arms, okay? You are working those arms. Shoulders need love, too.
And again, the thing to remember with like how long it might take on the clothesline, there's no immediate pressing need for you to get fresh laundry. It adds nice things to your game. It doesn't punish you if you're not doing them.
Yeah. Oh man, so we went over almost like 45 minutes, I think, at this point, right?
I know,
Steve?
it's fun.
Yeah. Did you see his page of notes?
I know. Like, guys,
This is the
seriously,
longest outline I've ever.
This is.
written
This,
for a
trust
live
me.
stream.
Not just because you've forgotten. Since
Yeah.
you've been off for a
No.
month.
Yeah, he was off for
I
an
don't like the
entire
show.
month.
This was a detailed, in-depth stuff pack.
It is.
There was a
It
lot
is.
of outcomes that can happen.
There
that
are.
were fun to show.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you know what? This will be the last question before we go.
Okay.
Elder Jim asks, "Can a kleptomaniac sim steal clothes on the clothesline?"
Oh boy.
I don't know if they can.
I don't think they can steal it from the clothesline. No, that's a fun thought, but not on this one.
No, see, we were more concerned about the death trap. You know, but I mean, hey, that is something we can think about.
Yeah.
But thank you, seriously, guys. Thank you for being a part of this process with us. It has been so awesome being able to talk with you, and as Graham mentioned earlier, there's still some stuff he'd like to share.
Yeah.
And once he gets time, we'll work on getting that out there. But
Yeah, and just really sincerely from me, I know from a lot of the team, it's been an interesting process, and it's been a really joyful process to be able to share more of what we do every day. There's so many talented people on the team who you don't meet, who you don't see. They're not sim gurus on Twitter, but they're here working hard every day to make cool content for you. And we want to make stuff that you guys love, that you're passionate about, because we're passionate about creating this game. And I'm so happy we had the opportunity to do this project. Like, I'm thrilled. It's something that I wanted to do for a long time. Sim Guru Lindsay, she really helped to make this happen. She brought the project together. Electronic Arts has been awesome at supporting this and letting it happen.
Sim Guru Jessica too.
Like, I thought for sure our legal team would
I know, that was the
shut
scary
this down
part.
the instant we brought it to them.
Yeah, when we talked to legal and finance partners and all these other cross-functional partners outside of who we deal with, on communications on data, it's like, we're like, oh man, how do we get them to buy into this?
Yeah, I don't think any other development team, I haven't seen anything go as deep as this project, which was really cool. Like, when you guys presented this idea, I was like, this is amazing. This would be really cool, because there's a black art, magic that that development teams don't really talk about.
No.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, this really was like a true look into game development. And if you have questions about this project, I can't be this forthcoming about everything I'm working on in the future.
Right.
But if you ask me about this, just hit me
reach
up.
out,
I would love to answer questions about it. I love talking about the industry. It's something that's important to me. So, hit me up on SimGurugram on Twitter.
Yeah.
Visit the SimGurugram's Corner section on the forums. I love getting into this stuff. And thank you so much. I think this is a pack that we can all be proud of having had a hand in.
Oh, they want to see you take the clothes down.
Oh, the clothes are dry.
Oh,
they are.
What perfect timing.
Perfect timing, guys.
Wake up. Rise and shine.
Here we are. We're trying to say goodbye because we also haven't had lunch or anything.
I came prepared. I saw that 2-page thing, and I
didn't see it. I didn't see it. I was late.
Hey, I'm excited because right after this, remember, we're going straight into our Idle stream.
Idle stream.
Idle stream, yeah.
We'll host that because that'll be on our Sim Gurus.
Yeah. You know what? If I can time it right, I might be able to rate it. I can go live.
Yeah, and then rate. Ooh, yeah.
All right.
You probably could.
We'll see.
Let's grab that laundry. This will be a great way to sign off. I'm telling you, it's cathartic.
Yeah, she's singing and everything.
There we go.
Yeah.
Some nice clean laundry for our Sims. So remember, it's the Sims 4 Laundry Day stuff. It releases next Tuesday.
January 16th.
$9.99 North America.
Yep.
Same price.
Or comparative price in international.
Standard
stuff.
But
and for Steve, who does all the hard work in the background here, you want to see more cool live streams in the future, be sure to click that follow button right under the Twitch stream.
Good shout out. Good call.
And don't go anywhere because our idle stream is starting, and we'll link it
switch
right
over
from here.
to
Yeah.
So thank you all so much for joining.